Okay, so back again with another short film review, and today we have Place of Safety by a woman called Fanny Compton. I think it's important here to give you some context for this one, as it says in the description, so I've not particularly gone out of my way to know this, but Place of Safety was a challenging short film, filmed completely on an iPhone with no lights, no tripod and no assistance, completely alone and with no equipment. Also, this person says that they're very inexperienced behind the camera, so with that in mind, we're going to cut them some slack and go straight into the video and really make this a learning experience.
People often advise me, in their naivety, to do one of three things: distract myself, live in the moment, or appreciate the beauty of life.
Okay, just to say we're 30 seconds in so far and the video hasn't started. I will say, voiceover wise, I'm believing you. I'm believing you're very upset, I guess. For context, she did also say that this is a filmed note, so I'm expecting this to get extremely tragic.
I'm forced to consent to life. How weird is that?
Okay, so we're just under a minute now, 55 seconds, and we've got to the first shot of the video. Short film especially, from a no budget or otherwise unknown filmmaker. Kind of works similar to social media. You want to get people into your thing as soon as possible, and you want the visuals and audio or everything has to be an exciting moment to really keep people's attention. If people don't know you, I very much doubt that people will get to the 55-second mark. Unless you're, a known director, people really aren't going to give you that chance. So that's just a point to think about. I imagine this video is going to be a lot of helping with the basics. So quick thing is, it looks like you went all the way in there on the digital zoom, which means that I guess you had like a full HD or maybe a 4K frame. And rather than going forward in the hallway, you decided to zoom in all the way to the beds. And what's happening is the image is getting less clear each time you zoom in. I mean, what I would suggest is getting different shots rather than just punching in on the same thing. Okay, so I know this was filmed on your iPhone, so I'm cutting you some slack there. I mean, this image looks almost furry with the amount of noise that's on it. It looks like what's happening is maybe the conversion process between the file on your phone and your editing program, the computer doesn't like it, or you don't know what you're doing with that file. It could also be maybe that room is extremely dark and it's really compensating there for the light. But just a quick tip, that the more light you have, the less noise that will be in your image. That is a typical idea of lighting. Obviously there's a lot more nuances to it than that, but if you just think of that as a rule of thumb, you shouldn't get that pretty disgusting noise in the image.
I think that deep down people are afraid to admit that.
That's actually a pretty creative idea. They're looking down at your own feet walking with the kind of blurry vignette around it. I kind of like that as a creative decision. What I will say is that the shots aren't framed the best, but you can tell already that you have some, you've thought about this. You've thought about the shots. They're fairly unique shots. You've got these kind of effects that go with them that kind of work. All it is that it's very clear that you're coming at this from a amateur perspective, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you're doing this as an actress, the reality is that people associate you with the quality of work that you're in. So at a glance, if someone sees this film and associates it with you, if they associate that footage with you, they will immediately know that you're in an amateur production, which is great as a learning experience for you. But to promote yourself, I would say this is the importance of getting someone that knows what they're doing visually.
By the extent to which it has been free from suffering.
This is a point where I would say if you're especially new to filmmaking, definitely don't even attempt visual effects like this, because they will look, as it does look in this, not realistic in the slightest, and come across confusing. The thing is with visual effects that people don't actually consider what goes into them. So fair enough, you have a smoke effect or smoke blast that you can put over the top of your footage, but in real visual effects, in order to make this look realistic, you would match the smoke with the lighting in the room. And to do that, you need light meter readings or even just an artistic eye to do shading on your own visual effects. It's a very complex process, so just please don't try that again.
Always smiling, always laughing. She's so inspirational.
As an actress, you've not really decided to show your face all that much. I don't know the reason you've done that. I mean, there's some shots of you from like far away or extremely close up. It seems kind of disorientating, and also it would have been nice to see maybe deliver some of those lines to camera. Okay, so I kind of get the idea of what you're doing here, and I won't be showing any more, and I'll tell you the reason why, is because you're reusing a lot of shots throughout the whole thing, so it's getting fairly repetitive. It's also very one tone. I mean, I understand that this is a no, but we're very much from as soon as you start talking to the end, this is bleak. I imagine most people don't want to be depressed while watching a short film. They want to know a story. You know, what usually happens in these kind of monologues is if people are talking about a past experience, maybe we cut to that. The feedback is that there is just too much of the same thing, and it's really got to be quick, you know, quick to the point here to get people interested in what you're doing. So first thing would be get rid of the minute black screen at the start, and then maybe even cut this whole thing down to 3.5 minutes. Was this enjoyable? No, it was bleak. It was really, really bleak, which I think was your point. Was this well executed? For your first attempt at doing film and stuff like this, and first attempt behind the camera, I genuinely applaud you. This is, I can obviously see that you're experimenting for the first time and stuff with visuals, and that's good. Anyone that's getting into film for the first time, I'm not going to crap on them. I think it's just learning that process, really, of how to serve the story and get points across quicker and more effectively, and make more of a story, really, rather than just make this bleak deletion note. So I guess my advice is keep trying.